Hi, my name is Swanee. I'm the owner of 44ORANGE website design and local SEO. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the anatomy of a one-page sales website. Now, a lot of times when you build websites, you might think, I need a lot of pages. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. But in many cases, especially if you're brand new, and this is your first website, or you're just getting on your feet as a business professional, business organization, a one-page website can work quite well. In some cases, even has an advantage over websites that are bloated with too much content and too many pages. One of the things that we're going to take a look at is how everything on a one-page website is linear. Vertical linear flow of information. Now, the main reason why this works, and we stick to single columns, is because of these smaller web browsing devices. More and more we're seeing some of these, especially service area type businesses, have high number of mobile visits to their website. Well, it's going to be pretty important that your website works for mobile devices. In this case, a single column, very linear approach is a smart strategy. But let's take a look at what you're going to have to actually make this a sales page. And this is maybe where other web designers might fall short in their designs. The template we use starts off with a very prominent logo. Not huge, but prominent. Prominent in that it's the first thing you see in the top left corner of every page. This is a natural place for the eye to go to, and really all people want to do is identify that this is the right place, this is the right company. And that's really the only purpose a logo has. There's no need for this thing to be gigantic. It really isn't. Most people don't care about your logo. They might go, oh, gee, that's nice, and then they're done with it. Then it's just a reminder and a branding thing. Okay, this is who this is. Next, we actually have navigation up at the top. However, this navigation doesn't take you to other pages. What it does instead is like a jump menu. If people click different parts, like you might have the About and Services and Contact, what it does is it very nicely scrolls the visitor down to that part of the page. Now, one thing you might, I maybe should have done this in a different color, but right here is what we have called the web fold. On a desktop computer, like a laptop or a desktop computer, this is probably the bottom of the screen. So when they get to the site, all of this content isn't seen, nor do we want to. You wouldn't want to try to cram everything up here. It's impossible, and it would be just a mess. But instead, we use as much of this large space. One, we can have a nice background image that's related to the type of work that you do. But really, this whole space is dedicated for your unique sales proposition. You really should have a large headline that is your promise. Your unique sales proposition is going to make a promise. And then you're going to have a little bit of description with smaller words explaining in very short words description what you do and why they should choose you. This entire section right here should be attention-getting. It should begin to solve the customer's problems. And then you'll have action buttons or an action button, maybe just one, but maybe you have a secondary action. In this case, it could be a simple phone number that they click and call. All right? In most local businesses, the phone call is going to be your primary call to action. We can make that phone number very prominent right here as soon as they get to the website, and we can also have it prominent in the navigation. The next part of your website is really going to elaborate on your unique sales proposition. So this is where you explain a little bit more about who you are and what you do and proof that you do it well. Obviously, the length of this will be as much as it needs to be, but really, concise wins the game. Remember, may not necessarily trying to get the sale yet. What you're trying to do is get the phone number, get the phone call. Seems like it's close to the same thing, but really, they're like, I like what I see on your website. I now want to talk to you. At that point, you got a lead, and the website did its job. It's now your chance and opportunity to close the deal. All right? Concise is going to be your friend here. Avoid trying to spit out and say everything on your website. Imagine you're going to a website and somebody is spitting out everything. You really don't want all of that information. If you need it or want it, you can ask for it, right? It starts a conversation. It's not meant to be everything on your website. So concise is going to be very important for the one-page website. And in this content, as you craft who you are and what you do, and hopefully you'll list not only the features of your products or services, but more importantly, you're also telling them the benefits. It can be tempting to just list a bunch of features of your services and products and leave it at that. I would encourage you to write the benefits. And when you do sign up for a plan, we can actually send you a writing formula where you fill in the answers, and then that can become your web content. For an added price, we can also write the content for you in case words are not your friends, or maybe you just don't want to do it at all. I've written a lot of websites, and we can make sure that the content is concise, but it's also compelling with features and benefits. Next, you got a whole section here, and this can again be as long as it needs to. That's the nice thing is with websites, these pages can be lengthy. We don't want it too long, but as long as the content is useful, helpful, interesting, people will scroll. And the scrolling has become probably more adapted now than going to other pages. I don't want to wait for a page to load, and I don't want to have to navigate back. This navigation stays planted at the top. So even once they get down lower on the page, they can click something up here and it brings them back up. So the navigation brings it up and down. The other things we're going to see here are functions. So maybe in this part of your website, you want to add a video. Maybe you want to add an FAQ section. Maybe you have a photo gallery. So this is an area where we can have 1, 2, or all 3 of these on your page. Next, we have our final call to action. Now, we had a call to action up here because we want to start with that option so they know what they can do on the site. In many cases, again, it's going to be a phone number. But we want to end, if they scroll down in red, we want to finish with the call to action down here. So we're going to have a call to action, possibly a second call to action. If you have premiums to try to entice people to act sooner, maybe you're having a sale, or maybe you have a giveaway that goes with any kind of conversion or call to action. You can include that in this area as well, just kind of sweetens the deal for them. This is also where you might add an email contact form. Not everyone likes email contact forms, some people do. If it's after hours or it's a weekend and they know that nobody's going to answer the phone, they might send an email instead. Or, maybe they're just shy. I don't know. They want to send an email. Or they can put their thoughts together and ask their questions better if they can write it out. And so there are going to be some people who would prefer an email, and this is a great place to put it. We can also include maps to your location. We can have hours of operation, HOOO, looks like a who, I don't know. Hours of operation, let me just change that to hours. Any other kind of contact information that might be important to your business. This is a great location for it. Again, the contact link would take them right down to that. So if they get to your site and they just want to know how to get to your place, they click contact, or we could call it location, boom, they're there. We can even embed a Google map. Then finally, we have a footer area. Now, sometimes you really don't need to do anything with the footer area, but if you do have admin links or footer links or social media links that you want to put into your footer area, we do have a place there for that as well. And that is the anatomy. And the key for this is this site is responsive. So it redesigns itself regardless of what the device is. But I'm going to tell you this. Of all the devices, this is the one it works the best on first. Because if it works here, I think it's going to work pretty well for anything bigger as well. It does have a linear approach, but I think more and more people kind of like the linear approach, even on a desktop experience. And that's why we have gravitated to this one-page sales website. It's quick hitting, it's concise, it has everything they need in one page to make the purchasing decision. And even if they're not ready to purchase, they're calling for more information or they want an estimate, okay? And now you have a chance to close the deal. We can build these very, very fast. And we have a template that is just tried and true. The code is clean. The web files are fast loading. It works on mobile friendly. It has a great place to display and present your content. And in many cases, it even works really well for SEO, mainly for your own business name. So how many businesses out there don't even rank on Google or Bing or Yahoo for their own business name? This gives you a very, very, very good chance to be the #1 result when somebody searches for your name. And that way they're not finding something else. The Yelp page or Insider pages, Yellow pages, who knows what they're finding, and do you even have that content? Is that even accurate? If you ever had a question about those things, we have a service, or we can cover all your important online directories. That way, no matter where they find you online, the message is consistent, accurate, it's complete, and it's going to be a great presentation, and you get a much better chance of getting found online. So there you go. That's the one-page website, and that's how we build it and the entire anatomy.